Did you see what I saw? Savage AF, man, you know what it is. This is a Dro solo edition. I'm your boy Black Pedro. We're starting an hour late tonight, simply because there was an epic, historic public hearing that began tonight. Will occur over the next 2, 3, 4 weeks or whatever. Yeah. But regarding the January 6th insurrection, the committee today had its first public hearing, prime time style. You know, it's late on the East Coast. They got people up working late, trying to analyze. But thank you guys for being here. Shang is in these streets, building the brand, doing what he can. Yeah, Maya, I'm solo today. Thank y'all for being here. Again, I'm just jumping in late. This is gonna be a quickie, but for those who were able to check in with the January 6th committee hearing going public today, just want to talk about that a bit. Always a little bit of business to talk about. Just know that typically Savage AF is here for you Monday through Friday. Mondays and Fridays, typically 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Typically Tuesday through Thursdays, we're on a 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Sometimes that changes. Fuck your feelings, facts matter. That's our motto. So don't get all sensitive. You said you was gonna be on it. Shut. That being said, I don't have it scrolling because I'm not always good at the whole production while talking, while reading thing. But scrolling at the bottom of the screen, if you ever miss us live, and the us, by the way, is usually to my digital virtual right. There's usually a comedian Shang, but he ain't here today. That's just how that's going. What does that look like? What does this look like? What does this look? It's just gonna be me. I can't get no background, huh? Nope. All right, just full screen Pedro today. That's whatever. It's all good. But usually Shang is here. If you ever miss us live, but there's just me or me and Shang, just know that at the bottom of the screen, youtube.com/c/savageafworld, all one word. It's scrolling. That's the YouTube page. When you get there, make sure you do this. All right, make sure you subscribe, notify, like, all of that shit, man. And pass it on, just like whatever disease you passed on in college. All right, just pass it to your friends. That's where all the shows are archived if you ever miss us live. If you do miss us live, obviously you're a heroin addict. Turn your life around. You're fucking up. But that's what we're doing today. Thank you guys for being here. Maya, Bronda, Cooch Adamas is in the building. Ain't no mama jokes when it's me and Cooch. Me and Cooch cool, dog. Like, my mama be on the show, so it'd be really awkward if you told mama jokes. And my mom is like in the comment section. Like you just be a foul person. You know what I'm saying? Like, what, dozens aside, nigga, you wasn't raised right. All right. Maya, I am solo today. AJ Fit, Maryland. There's another mass shooting in Maryland today. God damn. I'm so caught up in the shots they took at Donald Trump today that I political shots, that is, but that I missed that. But I'm sure we'll be back into that tomorrow, AJ Fit. But today, Dro Solo edition. Let me see if I can create a banner right quick. But it is Thursday, January 9th, 2022, the year of your Lord. Make sure you write this day down because is a historic day in which a special select committee, congressional committee, focused on the events around the January 6th insurrection. They held their first of several public hearings. So let me see. We're going to just call this the hearing. Can spell right. Hearing heard round. Oh, I need an apostrophe before that. Round the world. Oh, okay. I just took y'all BTS behind the scenes. That's how banners get created. What? Ha! Yeah. But Savage AF, man, fuck your feelings, facts matter. Black Pedro's Dro Solo edition. I just finished watching the hearing heard round the world. All right, so here it is, man. Led by a Mississippi boy, raised down in the Delta, Benny Thompson. You know, most likely and unlikely. If you looked at the boy when he was young, you wouldn't have been like, one day he gonna try and take down the president politically, legally. But he is the chairman of this January 6th committee. The sub chair is Liz Cheney, who on the complete opposite end is part of a conservative Republican political dynasty. Benny Thompson still lives in the rural Mississippi town that he grew up in, and Liz Cheney owns a mountain. But that being said, you know, I can't lie. Liz Cheney looked a little sexy to me today. Maybe I'm homeless. Homeless. Maybe I'm horny and I'm missing my homeless chick. But Liz looked a little sexy today. She was talking that talk, and I was like, "Go ahead, girl, speak to it." But not to belittle the role, but led by Benny Thompson and Liz Cheney as the co-chair. Um, this today I would call a success in terms of building a case. Now, listen, we all have to understand, know, and accept that this isn't going to be a criminally prosecuted. Donald Trump's not going to jail at the end of this thing. This is a bit of just public record fanfare, but necessary in and of itself. Eventually, at the end of all of this, whenever Miss Empire, I'm not about to go hunting for for Cheney. All right, I'm just saying. Today, I liked what she was. Okay, just turn me. My nipples got a little hard because it was. I'm weird. But we shouldn't be expecting Donald Trump in handcuffs at the end of this thing. That's not what's going to happen. Okay. But at the end of this, by the time all of this evidence is laid out and everything is said, they said what they said. We should all be able to look at our Attorney General Merrick Garland like, the emoji with the big eyes, like, what you gonna do, dog? It's just all there, bro. Don't be a bitch. Don't be a bitch, dog. Go and prosecute, homie. It's your job. Top cop this shit. Top cop this shit. But understand in a process like this, they have to build up cases slowly, meticulously, piece by piece. Maya Baker says, I will do the summary, but I have been putting the pieces together also. Trump is supposed to testify under oath in a couple of weeks. Popcorn is ready. Now, Trump's testimony under oath, along with his children and some staffers, that's specifically in regards to Letitia James, the New York Attorney General's tax fraud case against him. But they've reached an agreement, and Trumpty Dumpty will have to testify in that case. Completely different case, but equally important. Could lead to criminal charges and indictments and convictions, which could ultimately exclude him from office. All of this is about making sure that Donald Trump never fucking is eligible to even run for office again, let alone win. Right. So, like, ultimately, that's the goal that we who are sane and don't put meth on our frosted flakes are hoping for. Right. But that being said, I think today was a successful day in terms of laying out an argument. And when I say successful, I just mean, again, in terms of the fanfare. There's no mass of Trump supporters who are watching this at all. Fox News, their only source of information, what they call their think place. I call it my TV mind. Um, isn't even airing this shit, right? They're not even airing. They don't want the truth to come out. So they don't want their people to see that. But what we did see today was and I thought this was great. They started with the select committee, the January 6th select committee started with evidence, beyond their opening statements. They started with evidence, uh video testimony from many former Trump advisors, lawyers, even his own fucking daughter, who all were able to lay out the premise. Hey, Nicole H, I see you. Thank y'all for coming in, and thank y'all for joining us on this late edition. Again, I just wanted to slip in a quickie by myself. Shang is in the streets. He's at a BET event, getting all the attention and all the ladies. I got cats and beer. It's all good. I probably got a homeless lady in my bushes, so it's all y'all know I'm gonna be good. But we are doing. I am just doing a quick commentary on what I saw in this January 6th committee public hearing inaugural event. So um, what they did, oh, goddamn cops are on me. What they did was they started with a lot of video and audio evidence, testimonial evidence from people who were around Trump the whole time, day of, days after, on the day, all the people, right? From Bill Barr to other legal advisors and organizational lawyers. Again, like I said, his own daughter Ivanka, Jared Kushner. All of this testimony was used to establish that clearly, it had been expressed to Donald Trump that he lawfully lost the election, that any conversations about fraud was fraud in and of itself, and that his language was going to lead to violence. These are important. Yes, Miss Empire, Bill Barr slash Fred Flintstone. Oh no, slash. We always call him from the fucking. Do I still is Shang? I think has a picture in here. God damn it! But from the show Dinosaurs, he's not the mama. Like maybe Shang took it out of here. Anyways, Bill Barr always looks like the baby dinosaur from that really bizarre ABC sitcom about dinosaurs. Which is like if they had cameras back then to film dinosaurs, why the dinosaurs should have been advanced ahead of us. I don't know. Anyways, they should still be ruling the planet. But anyways, Bill Barr, Fred Flintstone, not the mama, baby dinosaur. Even he clearly was like, he told Trump this is some bullshit. So just chill with the bullshit. So they well established, from my Trini people out there, it was well established now that this is tomfoolery bullshit. Um, yeah, it was a bunch of just bullshit about election fraud, and also Mike Pence's ability to overturn the election. So everything that Trumpty Dumpty and any of his sycophants were using to uh, tout his his ability to stay in office was all bullshit. And this committee was able to do some very quick video, and it'll get more extensive. But just as an introductory, it was like, all right, so he knew this. Everybody around him told him this was bullshit, so he knew this was bullshit. Continue to perpetuate it. That goes towards intent and motive. Um, and lends towards conspiracy. But then I think the most brilliant move of the night, and this is what I really want you all to consider and chime in on, is Officer Edwards. I can't remember her first name at this point. I didn't take notes. I've been drinking. But the main point was that the two witnesses, in-person witnesses that they had for the committee tonight, were white. Okay, the number one, I think, star witness, Officer Edwards, is a white woman. Okay, cute enough in the face, long blonde hair. Nigga, every Disney movie is ever made was about this girl. She was a police officer, and then somebody came and saw her shield and badge, and now she's a princess. The cops are still on me. They can't find the address. It's hard to get to my street from there. Y'all gotta do a U-turn. Anyways. But they had a long blonde-haired white woman who was a Capitol officer on the day of January 6th, was knocked unconscious and was part of the initial defense of the Capitol. Was basically stampeded by the crowd, and knocked over. Like, they took the bike racks and shoved her. Her chin hit the handrail of the steps, and her head hit the back, and she was knocked unconscious. Stayed in the fight later. Got bear sprayed and all of that. But just image wise, right? Because I think what we've seen for months is like the big black officer and the Latino officer, and then the white dude with tattoos on his neck. The little hick about him, but that don't mean he's not an American. Goddamn it! When you see a white woman talking about being attacked and called names, it tugs at America's heart, or at least it's supposed to. So I thought it was like Operation, Karen Shield. You know what I mean? Like, let's throw a white woman out front just to be like, just to show how savage this was, that they was attacking white women. And then to top that off, icing on the white woman cake. Nicole H said, "What Karen?" I'm not saying she was a Karen. I'm just talking about Officer Edwards, the white female Capitol Police officer that was a key witness tonight. I think I look at that as Operation White Shield, like White Woman Shield, like white. Her code name should be White Titty. But yeah, they like Benny Thompson and them kind of threw her out there as a shield. Like, look what they did to this poor white girl. Benny Thompson is an old black man from Mississippi, so he know he know what he's like. Look what they did to this pure white woman. And you got in situations like this, you pronounce the H in white. You know what I mean? You're not like, oh, she's a white woman. You're like, look at what they did to this white woman. Pure as the driven snow, this white woman was. So they put her out there like that, man, and I think that's a successful tactic. And then, oh look, Benny Thompson on right now. I wish I could hear the interview. He's with Jake Tapper. And then the other key witness was a documentarian. I don't remember his name, but it kind of doesn't matter because he was also white, but even more important, he was British. He was a British documentarian just trying to figure out why Americans are having such problems getting along when they're all such the same. All of you are the same. There's so much in common. Why are you having problems, mate? I threw a mate in there, and that's really more Australian. Why are you having problems, governor? But I think when you have a white woman, yeah, just Twinkie white, and then a British dude, this is like this is where y'all came from. If anybody know about crazy white folks, it's this English cracker right here, right? He came here with a camera to figure out why y'all so crazy now, and got caught up in the mix. And we saw footage today that we hadn't, even after all this time, still hadn't seen all of this footage. He had footage that hadn't been released, and they were able to pinpoint, timing. What was really critical in his footage was the ability to establish not only that the Proud Boys were the spearhead of the, the kind of tip of the spear of the invasion in terms of the breach, and then the Oath Keepers, but also the Oath Keepers like clear directive to breach and find Nancy Pelosi and things like that, right? Like he was embedded with these groups and interviewing them, but also just showed that like they clearly weren't there for the speech at the ellipse that Trump gave, like because he was able to establish that they left the ellipse before the speech even started, before Trump's speech even started. These groups, the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers, they were making their moves towards the Capitol and actually doing perimeter walks, much like you would do when you get to jail. Trust me. I've been, you want to test the fence out, bro. Just see where the weaknesses are. Make a plan from there. But that's basically what they did is they didn't even pay attention to Trump's speech. They weren't even present for it. They began walking the perimeter, looking for the weaknesses in the fence. So, I applaud the committee tonight. They started with Trump's own people, right? There were the opening statements were strictly by Benny Thompson and Liz Cheney. Okay. And they gave lengthy openings, but I think they were poignant and good and provided some perspective as to who they were and where they came from and why they're, pursuant of this. But most importantly, they were able to use Trump's own people's words to establish that Trump obviously knew that he lost. Obviously knew that there was no significant fraud that in any key state or any other state that would change the outcome of the election, and was obviously aware that his rhetoric and his words would lead to violence. They also used his own supporters' words against him, and that many people were like, "Well, he told us to come. The only thing Trump ever asked me for was his vote and to show up on January 6th. So I did it. I did it and followed, and now I'm in jail. Meet Leon, my wife." Or I should have said husband and made him the wife. Whatever, guys. Freestyle. Need another sip. So they used Trumpty Dumpty's own people's words, his supporters' words against him, but most importantly, they used the two bastions of whiteness against him, and that is white woman and British man. Because there's just something about the British accent that just makes you feel inferior. It's a colonizer's accent. It's the colonizer's accent, and when you hear it, you feel as if your mind has been colonized by their accent, and you're like, well, maybe they're right, no matter what they say. But in this case, it was just presenting a bunch of British I'm sorry, it was presenting a bunch of video footage with a British accent, just to bolster it that much. But I think this is what a lot of analysts and a lot of us were hoping for, was not just like um uh, blatantly partisan voices speaking out against Trump, but either Trump's own people or neutral voices, just like cops or a documentarian who is just trying to, hey, just here taping. or a cop who's just doing my job. You know what I mean? And then to have them all basically be white people, um, is because we as black people know that January we sat back with popcorn and guns like it's like a white tennis match or some shit like that. Well, that's redundant. It's like a tennis match, you know what I'm saying? Just boop, boop, just watching white people go back and forth, serving volley. Um, I think most importantly too, or not most importantly, but one great thing is that the ability to use Trumpty Dumpty's own daughter and son-in-law, Ivanka and Jared Kushner, their like their words mean something against Trump, right? Which is like Ivanka was like, well, when Bill Barr said he lost, I was and there was no fraud, I basically believed him. It's like, yeah, that's fairly sane. That's I don't know what to tell you. And Jared Kushner, while denying it and saying that there were people who wanted to leave the administration because of this and that, he was like, well, I basically took it as whining. His opinion aside, he still establishes that people were telling Trump this and that. People were unhappy in the administration. Bill Barr, you know, resigned once he realized they were going to carry on with the monkey shit. And I'm like, once you got like, bro, they established that Betsy DeVos, who is the devil's titty milk. Okay, her brother is the fucking her brother basically programmed Jason Bourne, and there's a reason why this nigga's running around Europe tearing shit up. Blackbird. And she was education secretary under Trumpty Dumpty. I think her family is Mary Kay or some shit. Whatever, man. The billionaires out of Michigan, but Betsy DeVos, just literally one of the evilest vaginas ever made. She quit after the whole January 6th. Like she's like, oh, I fucking I'm out. I mean, they established that somehow Betsy DeVos was more moral, had higher morals than fucking Donald Trump. Like, bro, you don't have to kill yourself, but die soon. Maya Baker, Blackbriar was from Jason Bourne, but in real life, Betsy DeVos, I think her brother ran an organization called Blackbird, which was the real life Blackbriar. Um, Nicole H said they all guilty. Well, we know this, right? This is we just we see what's going on from Donald Trump to Jenny Thomas to Giuliani on down, Mark Meadows, all these motherfuckers. They all have their hand in it. But legally, we don't want to turn into them where we're like, well, let's just storm their house. And no, we got to lay it out legally. And then after this is in the legal procedure, I should say. It's being laid out politically, with most likely a recommendation of that criminal activity occurred to the DOJ. And like I said in the beginning of this episode, we all gonna have to sit back and stare at Merrick Garland like, what you gonna do, Hogwarts reject? Because he kind of looks like a professor at Hogwarts that was like scared to teach magic. And it's like, nigga, that's what we do here. He's like, but what if somebody gets hurt? Nigga! Get your abracadabra ass, Leviosa the fuck out of here then. Fucking huff and puff ass nigga. But anyways, we're gonna have to stare at fucking Merrick Garland like, okay, you need some gilly weed, nigga? What you need? A new wand? You afraid to say his name? Bro, come on, man. You sounding Dumbledore out here. Oh man. That being said, man, we have several days next week I think there's like 2 or 3 days next week that they're gonna go. So Liz Cheney was good about her opening statements were mainly about or predominantly about the procession of these hearings, and how in each phase they're going to establish Donald Trump's knowledge, then his sort of lack of action, and then after the election, his attempts to pressure local of election officials, and then eventually getting into like the actual things he did to spark this insurrection, this riot. So we're in for a ride over the next couple days. I'm sorry, couple weeks. So let's strap in for it. But I think today, while also being completely pessimistic and understanding that none of this is going to change any Trump supporters' heart or any staunch Republicans' stance on any goddamn fucking thing. But it better goddamn inspire Merrick Hufflepuff Garland to Leviosa the fuck out of Trumpty Dumpty and many of his henchmen. Right? These are Slytherin niggas, dog. You can't let Slytherin win Quidditch, nigga. I kind of don't even know what I'm talking about. But I just watched the Dumbledore or the Fantastic Beast trilogy like over the past weekend. So feeling empowered. Oh, what up, though? B Pryor, man. I was just about to sign off, y'all. I'm about to get out of here, man. Thank y'all for joining us today. Again, today was a late Dro Solo edition. Just doing some commentary on the January 6th Select Committee public hearing, the opening of that, the inauguration of that. Looking forward to the next few weeks just to see what's said and all the other evidence that they lay out and how they build the case. I think we as a community understand what happened, and we know that there is evidence out there that clearly proves that these people were aware of, planning, know they were lying, couldn't wait to bullshit the American people. So we'll stay tuned into that. Tomorrow, Friday, we will be back. It'll be June 10th. Shang should be here. We'll be on at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, y'all. This is Savage AF, another Dro Solo edition for y'all. Again, we're hoping that all of these events, if not to jail time, at least lead to a banishment of Donald Trump and anybody associated with him and the insurrection, a banishment from politics. You can have a podcast with Alex Jones and cannibalize your whole cul-de-sac, but we don't need you in the White House, bro. Keep your finger out your fucking nose.